Americans now think that the war in Afghanistan is more important to the U.S. than the war in Iraq. This is a fascinating finding. It's not by a huge margin, but by about 6 points, 44 to 38, Americans say Afghanistan rather than Iraq. There are political differences in this perception. Interestingly, Republicans, perhaps because they support President Bush's Iraq policies more than Democrats, say the Iraq war is more important. Democrats say the Afghanistan war is more important. Another distinction here: was it a mistake to have sent troops into Afghanistan? Initially, remember, they were first sent back in 2001, a few months after 9/11, by the U.S. and its allies. Well, a robust 2/3 of Americans say no, it was not a mistake. We can contrast that with Iraq, where we're still getting a clear majority of the American public saying it was a mistake to have been involved in Iraq. So let me summarize here. Not only do Americans say by a slight margin that Afghanistan is more important than Iraq, they are also much more likely to say that it was a good idea for the U.S. to have been involved in Afghanistan than the war in Iraq. What about the idea of sending more troops to Afghanistan? Half of the American public we interviewed, we simply said, should we send more U.S. troops to Afghanistan? The other half, we say, should we move troops from Iraq to Afghanistan, to see if there were any differences there? Well, the results show there weren't. A majority of Americans, not a supermajority, but in the 50% of Americans said that in both instances, yes, they would approve of the U.S. sending more troops to Afghanistan, whether or not it looks like they came from Iraq. Bottom line here, Afghanistan now appears to be the top concern of Americans in terms of importance, and a war that the American public at this point clearly is supporting a lot more than they support the war in Iraq. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup Poll.